Ladies and gentlemen, after a long hiatus, we are back with the Tag Team Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Tartaglione, joined with my brother, Johnny Tartaglione. And summer's been really busy.
Yeah, it's been a busy summer, to say the least. That's okay. You know, it happens. There wasn't a whole lot going on this summer. You know, we did have FIFA World Cup, but we're not soccer guys, you know.
And the USA lost, so.
USA lost, and we're not good at soccer, so it was fine. It was, you know, we're starting to get back into NFL preseason. And, you know, we left off on the high of the Knicks winning the championship. So sports for me, it was a nice little break. It's always a bummer when summer comes around and there's no sports.
Baseball. You can't shit on baseball.
The Mets suck. I did bet the Mets to make the playoffs, though, at plus 10,000. So we'll see what happens. Crazier shit has happened. I mean, we remember the run with Cleveland back in 2017. The Tigers have made a crazy run in recent years. And you never know with baseball. We'll see what happens when we get to the end of September.
You're done.
I'm done. I felt like wiping my ass with $10.
You literally just tried to go on a spiel about how the Mets are still in it, and
the Mets suck. I felt like blowing $10. So I blew $10. It was either between throwing it on the Mets to make the playoffs or buying a lottery ticket at the gas station. And we went with the drawn-out pain of losing the $10.
I think you have more odds of winning a scratch-off at the lottery
Yeah, but that's like a quick knockout. Like if you go in and you buy a lottery ticket for $10 and you lose, it's over. Like the thrill's done. At least with the Mets, I mean, if you think about it, that's like, it was over a 45-day span, most likely from when I placed the bet, maybe even 50. So 50 days, $10. What are we looking at there? What's the math?
$5,000?
No, it was no. What? $5,000? What the fuck are you talking about? I bet $10.
5 cents a day.
Yeah, 5 cents a day.
5 cents.
It was either 5 cents or 50 cents, but yes, 5 cents.
Check
a day.
my math. My math's probably horrible.
Well, 50 cents a day. You're right. That would be wrong. That would be 20 days at 50 cents a day. So 20 days. So then you double that. So 5 cents, about 5 cents a day. I'm really only blew 5 cents a day until the bet is bad. That just seems way more logical than blowing it all at once. You don't blow your load up front. You draw it out over time.
There you do. All I'm saying is that we're right around the corner. Everybody's starting to get their fantasy football drafts together, you know, deciding picks and stuff.
Nobody gives a fuck about the fantasy football team. We've been over this. But
what I'm saying is that football season is almost here. So before we get to football season, we wanted to bring you guys a special episode. We actually did the interview earlier this summer. Our first interview in probably 4 years. It's
been a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good.
He's a great friend of mine. He's very successful, and he's doing big things out there in the world, and I was excited to sit down and talk with him. I think we had a good time.
Yes. It's you know, we did do it earlier this summer. The Knicks were mentioned in the interview, so it was, you know, it's not outdated interview by any means, but there was mentions of the Knicks, but it's fine. Just a friendly reminder that the Knicks won the championship.
We'll
and that's what it is.
Always appreciate that.
Yeah. But no, very good interview, differentiating from just the topic of sports as well. So it's really cool. We're excited to bring this to you all, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
So enjoy listening to Liam Crowley. I am super excited. The first time in the Tag Team Podcast history, we finally have a guest. We've been waiting forever because we've been waiting for somebody super special. So joining us today is actually an old college friend. His name's Liam Crowley, and he does all things to TV and film at Screen Rant. So if you guys don't know what Screen Rant is, you obviously don't watch movies because they are a big mover in the industry. And I mean, me and him go way back. So happy to have you here, man.
Anthony, it's a pleasure. We do go way back, 2018. You know what's hitting me really hard these days is like we're coming up on a decade, a lot of us of knowing each other. Oh. It's crazy to put it that way.
Yeah, it's 2026, man. That gets scary to think about.
Yeah, I think I met you. In the Citrus TV, which for you guys but we went to Syracuse together. We were in the like the intro meeting with everybody, and it was just kind of like, this is what's going on. And I met Ryan and you there. And it was, you know, since then we've been friends. And what were we, 18 years old at the time?
Yeah, we were 18. We were a bunch of college kids with nothing but random dreams and resumes and weird. I remember those Citrus TV general interest meetings because it was like everyone was just like, I can do this. I have no evidence to prove I can do this, but I can do it. Just believe in me. And it all worked out for everyone in the end who stuck with it. But yeah, those were fun times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, Liam, I got a quick question for you. So obviously grew up, my brother lived in the same household our whole lives together. Went off to Syracuse. You guys met each other pretty early on. How long did it realize for you to realize that he was the biggest dickhead on Syracuse campus?
Anthony wouldn't even be in my top 100. Oh my God. There were some not great people at Syracuse, that's for sure. But no, Anthony's a good soul. I got nothing bad to say about Anthony. He doesn't root for the best sports teams. Maybe that's where I'll toss a knock here or there. However, remind me, you're a Knicks guy, right?
Oh yeah, both of us.
Both of us.
Okay. Well, I can't even fault you for like I'm an honorary Knicks fan right now. I live in the city. I live in Manhattan, and it's infectious, man. Like,
dude, how is that? How has that been? Like, is it bananas every day?
When I tell you, Anthony, I live on 34th Street. My address is 34th and 6th. I'm 2 blocks from Madison Square Garden. I went out into the street after game 2, or like in the final minutes. Like everyone's like streaming on their phone, like they're holding their phone up, and we're like in the side talk style crowd. And then some people cheer, but then I was like, that cheer didn't carry enough to know that it's the end of the game. So clearly something good happens. And then Wemby makes that bad pass, it gets stolen. Knicks win, and then just turn into mayhem. Like I can't wear Knicks gear because I'm a Boston boy and that's like sacrilegious. Yeah. But I did wear my Zoran Mamdani cut off in the streets. I still rep New York as I could. And knock on wood, if everything good happens for game 5, I packed my Spider-Man suit. So maybe I do a little character stuff in side talk. That'd be fun.
Dude, that would be freaking.
That would be sweet. Yeah, the energy there's got to be unbelievable.
All right,
everyone's nicer. Everyone's nicer. At my bagel spot, they were like, just your usual. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, because I know it's just been, obviously I have friends too, other friends from Syracuse grads that live in Manhattan, and they're like, dude, it's just bananas. Like the city's just on a whole different level right now.
Yeah,
and I told Johnny. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say quickly that, there are the videos out there of like people being a little too raucous and like being like physical and confrontational. Those are few and far between. There's always going to be one bad case out of 100. Overall, like I have felt nothing but euphoria and positivity. And there was one time waiting on the subway tracks, I sneeze into my elbow and I point out towards the tracks. And the guy behind me is like, this guy sneezing, getting everyone sick. And I turned around and was like, sir, like into my elbow and also facing away from you. And then he was like, well, he was making other gestures. I was like, hey, the Knicks are up 2-0 right now. There's no need for this. And he literally goes back to me, he goes, you're right. Just like that. Debate solved. That is what this team is doing for the city right now.
And that's something that would never have happened before.
No, he would have pushed me. Like we would have,
It's just mutual respect now. I gotta say, when we were interviewing you, this is definitely something I wanted to bring up because I have a bone to pick with you. So graduation, obviously. So me and him came in as freshmen, graduated, same degree, broadcast and digital journalism. Graduation day, we had new house, and I was so excited to walk across the stage. I was jacked up, and I had something planned. I was ready to roll, and we're like midway, like we're like in the bees at this point, and I'm cheering on all my boys. Like my boy Ryan just went. I'm like, let's go, and then I see Liam. I'm like, come on, Liam. And guess what I had planned to do? I had planned to gritty across the stage. This was when the gritty first became popular. So I was ready for it. I'm like, let's go, baby. Liam gets up. Guess what this guy does? He gritties across the stage. He hit that shit, and I was so mad. I was like, I can't do it now. I was like, my whole scheme of what I was going to do was just dead right there.
First off, you still could have done it.
I know.
Very true.
But then I want to look like a copycat.
But then, like anyone who saw it on social media or like the video looking back, no one's gonna be like, "Oh, someone else also grittied." But Yeah, I had to do it to him. Like I've been a Justin Jefferson guy since he was at LSU. He's been my keeper in fantasy for 7 years now. He has never played for another team in my fantasy league. And yeah, I like to gritty. Like what can I say?
At
Oh
that
yeah.
point, you got to do it. It's the one moment in your life. You're never going to have that moment back. You got to take advantage of it.
Look, I'll
No,
tell you
I
this. You
gritty.
don't. I
I was
say
gonna
you don't
say
know. You don't know Liam, but he's got that personality.
I believe it.
I gritty on the red carpets every now and then. I did it for Percy Jackson. I did another one too. I forget where, but yeah, one day I want to make like a montage of like gritty across the country, baby. Like, let's go.
You
Dude,
got to do
as you
like a
should.
vlog of it. That's what you got to do. It's
Dude,
easy
Yeah.
nowadays.
as you should. So I want to ask you this too. So obviously, going into college, we had the same degree. We learned the same stuff, but you took an entertainment path, right? So I know you had a podcast during college because we used to be in the audio booth together, and I think I sent you a Snapchat years ago, and I was like, "Yo, get after that podcast, bro," because you were doing it, and I was like,
I
"This is
was wasn't
awesome."
I logged into a computer or
Hmm.
something and I
Yeah,
forgot to log out and you were like you left your credentials in or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so it was like it's funny because it's just like I've always known you as like the entertainment guy. Like obviously you did news with Citrus, but what made you decide to get into the entertainment industry?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I've always wanted to do entertainment media, like since I was a little kid. Like I was obsessed with like the press junket interviews, like when you sit in the director's chair opposite the actor and you dissect a film. But that always seemed like such a foreign career path to me. There was no like step-by-step process because we learned in broadcast school, like, oh, local news, like you'll start out as a reporter for like a Midwestern town, you'll work your way up to the anchor desk, and then hopefully from there you get to like a more national station. And the same case for sports. While entertainment, it was like, yeah, we have an entertainment reporter in New York or Chicago. Like, good luck, 22-year-old kid starting in either of those two markets. It's not really a thing. And so I tried to do the sports path for half of my freshman year. I just realized very quickly how inauthentic I felt because like I like sports, but not I don't have like those burning takes that like I would die on the hill for. I also felt like a lot of it was superficial. I felt like a lot of people were saying stuff on these broadcasts that they didn't actually believe in. They just want to be like bombastic and loud and all that.
Yeah.
While with entertainment, it was like, oh, there's no shortage of genre or medium of storytelling. Like you don't have to be the biggest horror guy, but you could feel super passionate about Netflix limited series. And like that is its own niche in and of itself. And so I kind of took like I was obsessed with Marvel when I was growing up like an expert level with the MCU specifically. So yeah, I just like honed in on MCU kind of stuff for an upstart news outlet called The Direct, where I like wrote freelance articles for. And like when I was 19, like yeah, I got paid like not enough to sustain myself, but the most important thing to me at the time was the byline. And so once I realized that I was building something that could become sustainable post college, as my microphone slides into frame here, um, I was like, let's just go all in. There's no point in trying out different pockets or taking the safe route. Like there's a way that I can make this thing sustainable for myself long term. And yeah, God willing, it was able to happen.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's almost like comparable to New York City. You live in New York City, like you just mentioned. Like within that career path that you chose, it's not just like the horror films or there's almost a bigger picture to it. It's almost like each bigger title has its own little burrow to it, which is cool because then you can kind of dive into whatever you want to within each different topic, which I guess opens you up to a whole bunch of different paths from what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I never intended to be like film and TV all encompassing. Like I was always like, oh yeah, I'll just specialize in like Marvel and pro wrestling and just kind of do those two different beats. And then like when Screen Rant came around specifically, like I had to let go of pro wrestling because I mean this is sounds random to anyone listening who doesn't know my backstory, but like in 2020 specifically, when I was really enjoying doing the Marvel stuff for the direct, I was like, I want to also do this with pro wrestling because I loved WWE growing up. And so I reached out to a wrestling site called Wrestling Inc. and I wrote freelance articles for them. And then I did 2.5 years at an outlet called Comic Book where I did like Marvel and wrestling and like a bunch of other like random entertainment projects. But when Screenwriter came around and it was like, okay, film and TV, the New York guy, you're doing everything under those banners. There is no time for wrestling. And wrestling, like as much as I love it, it is not the needle mover that film and TV is. So just kind of have to go where the audience is. And yeah, it is very nice to get to like sink my teeth into everything because like I never would have watched 90% of the stuff that I cover had it not been my job. And it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a job too. Like there's this movie I saw last year called Lurker. I'm obsessed with this film and I loved it so much. I've seen it twice. I raved about it to the director during our interview. And it would have like caught my attention because it was on, I think Mubi was the streaming service. Like just not a streamer that like I
Yeah.
love Mubi now that I've worked with them. But those type of like platforms are not ones that I would come across had I just been a consumer and not been, a creator, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, so you say you're in Screen Rant now, and you say you're television and film. To me, you don't have a job title. You are just a content machine. Like, no matter what. Like, I know you've said before, I'm not a journalist. You're a reporter, obviously. That's what you do. But you do so much more than that. I mean, I see you on YouTube. I see you hosting so much stuff. So, like, would you say you're just kind of like you dabble in everything when it comes down to them?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, thank you for echoing. I used to call myself a content machine back in the day. It's funny
Yeah.
to hear it said in 2026. No, but thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I don't consider myself a journalist just out of the reality that like I'm not digging for a story. Like I'm not trying to break crazy news. Like if we're having a conversation, this happened with John Lithgow. I was interviewing John Lithgow, and I just during the course of the conversation, Harry Potter got brought up. And I asked him outright, I was like, they're saying like Dumbledore's in your future. Like what can you say about that? And he was like, oh yeah, like I've said yes. And he, over the course of our conversation, felt comfortable revealing something. I wasn't pulling for a story. I wasn't trying to dig up
Mhm.
news. Um, like journalism to me, especially the journalism that we learned at Syracuse, is getting those facts that aren't available on the surface level that the public like deserves to know. And in entertainment, yeah, there are some stories that deserve to be like uncovered and all that. That's just not my job. My job is like I always say, like I facilitate a conversation, whether that be in a traditional style interview back and forth, whether that be hosting a panel, whether that be on a red carpet. The job is to bring attention and awareness to these projects and celebrate them for their strengths and do our best to not hide the weaknesses, but like a film or a TV show being made is an absolute miracle. Like people don't understand how many jobs are on the line, how much time, effort, and money goes into these things, and how easy it is for it all to fall apart just by having one bad day on set. So at the end of the day, like if a film is taking that risk and going to theaters, I want to highlight the strengths and I want to bring out the best in people. It's someone else's job to dig up the journalistic stories. My job is to facilitate a positive conversation.
I love that.
Awesome. Yeah. I got two questions off of that. It's, scrolled through some of your content as well. You have met some and interviewed some amazing people, some big names, some incredible people. You had just mentioned kind of getting those stories that aren't necessarily available to the public. What does it take to gain that relationship with some of those people that you have interviewed to maybe get those key insights that aren't just out there to the public? Maybe something that's like off the record that may not be a secret, but you probably shouldn't go telling everybody that that's the case, you know?
It's funny. I'll tell you this because it's now public. At the after party for Spider Noir, which is the new Nick Cage Spider-Man series for Prime Video, obviously based on his character in Spider-Verse, even though there's not like a direct connection. Spider-Verse, those films are made by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the directing duo. And Lord and Miller both attended the premiere and were at the after party. And we're waiting in line for a drink, and Phil Lord was right in front of me. And I just mentioned to him, I was like, oh, thanks for the time. We actually did an interview for Project Hail Mary a couple months ago. It's like, I know you do a million Zoom interviews, so like, I don't expect you to recognize me. However, I was like, I was the one who brought up 23 Jump Street. He was like, oh, I do remember talking about that briefly. I was like, what's funny is like, I was the one who like resurrected the conversation on the canceled third movie 2 years ago because I interviewed Channing Tatum for Fly Me to the Moon. I brought my 22 Jump Street ticket stub. And I was like, Channing, like, I know that there was a third movie once upon a time. Like, you think there's ever a chance we're going to see it? And he spoke very earnestly And kind of this is more, I'm getting to answering your question, but this side tangent also answers the question. Channing really opened up to me in that moment. And I credit showing the ticket stub, because I like, if I don't show the ticket stub, it might just look like I'm fishing for a story, right? But when I showed the ticket stub, I'm like, no, this is something I actually care about. This is not just me Googling popular Channing Tatum topics and seeing what to cover. It's like, no, I personally want to see this third movie, and here's my evidence as to why. He gives me this great quote. The story goes viral. Every outlet under the sun picks it up. And at that after party, Phil Lord was like, you know, what's funny is since the interview, we've had positive discussions about it. I was like, oh, really? And I was like, positive discussions in like, what's like, how many years? And he was like, no, like literally last week where we were having a discussion about it. And I was like, oh, and this is the first time I've ever said this out loud, by the way. So the reason why I'm comfortable saying this out loud is because time of recording yesterday, they announced to the world like 24 Jump Street is coming. And the tagline is, we waited so long, we had to skip 23. So it's going to be 24 Jump Street. But like, that's public information now.
So are you responsible for 24 Jump Street?
I'd like to think, and I say this sincerely, I'd like to think I played a role in one of the dominoes at least falling, at least getting the conversation revved up again. But my point in saying all of that is Channing opened up to me because of like the ticket stub thing, which shout out Kevin McCarthy. He's the one who always brings the ticket stubs, and like I'm never copying him when I do this. But I have collected ticket stubs since I was like 10 years old, and it just happened to be a coincidence that like he also does it. Anyways, that plus like Phil Lord telling me that at the after party, and me not sharing that with anyone, even though I could have been like, I was at this after party and Phil Lord said to me things are progressing, but I was like, that would be disrespectful to the relationship we built up. Now that it's out there, I'm comfortable saying it. All of that put together is just like being an authentic human being, being a trustworthy person, and also just having faith that there will be a second time. Because for a lot of people view certain interview opportunities as like, this is my one chance to get to talk to so and so, and I gotta make the most of it. It's like, no, if you do well and you make a good relationship with their publicist, their manager, their representation, there will be a second time, and then they're going to come to you because they trust you so much. So yeah, that's kind of a monologue answer to your question, but I hope I provided some fun anecdotes.
No, that was great.
That's awesome.
So, like, you just finished, I just saw you just came out with an interview with J-Lo. You've interviewed people like Chris Evans, Tessa Thompson, Hugh Jackman, Mark Wahlberg. I got to ask you, though, because for us prepping up to this, we were nervous to interview you. Like, and it's funny because we're friends, and you have to interview these people.
It's our first real interview on our podcast.
Yes.
So, we got to big things.
So I want to know, like, what was there one interview where you were just like so nervous to go into, like shaking? Like, is there one that stands out to you?
Yeah, Chris Evans, 100%. I mean, like, not only is that Captain America, but like he's a Boston boy. Like, he's always been one of my heroes. I really admire his career. I just also like admire his personality. He's always been someone to me that like is not like a caricature of anyone. He's just himself. And so, yeah, I always knew that our paths would cross eventually. And just the way that came together was a very special interview. And that film that he was promoting at the time, Materialists, is a film that like I went into wanting to love it. And then I really, really related to it, and really, really like it has a very special place in my heart. It's in my Letterboxd 4 favorites, and people think I'm crazy for that. And I'm like, again, I could spend a whole podcast talking about why the film means so much to me, but also just that film as a moment in my life, both when I lived certain plot points in a past life, in my personal life, but also what that film represented to me in my career, because it led to that interview, which, I go back and watch it sometimes, and I'm just like, man, I don't even recognize that guy, just because like I was in my soft-spoken voice. It's one of the last times I truly felt really, really nervous. Like, I've been nervous for interviews recently, but I've accumulated a really good deal of confidence that like allows me to like persevere and be like, this is really cool. And I get to be excited while I'm nervous. Well, back then I was like, I'm so afraid of messing up. I'm going to like mask some of my personality. And yeah, it couldn't have gone any better. Like, we got good quotes from it, good clips, and Dakota Johnson was lovely too, because it was a paired interview, and they both just said some very complimentary things. And it's funny, Materialists time of recording turns 1 year old tomorrow.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'll be recycling some footage from that one.
Oh, heck yeah, you have to. Side note, is Winter Soldier still your favorite installment in the MCU?
Oh yeah, it's untouched. And I will say too, you watch it today with a 2026 lens, a little scary how accurate it is.
I kind of got a different question based off of what you just said that you were, nervous going into that interview, but then you watched his most recent film and you knew you were ready for that interview. Do you have one where you watched a movie that maybe you weren't as excited about and the interview was maybe a little more difficult depending on your feelings of what you were going to be talking about with any specific person?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that come to mind, there've only been a few, and I won't say the titles, I'll keep that to myself, but there've been a
You could
couple
keep
movies that
we could keep names out of
yeah,
it.
yeah, there are a couple movies I've watched that I've hated, like hated. I was like, I can't even, I talk about highlighting the good. I'm like, there's nothing good to be highlighted here. Like, I can't do this. Fortunately, any movie that I've hated, the interviews have been on Zoom. And Zoom is a completely different medium than an in-person conversation. Um, so yeah, there was a movie I did recently, we'll say the last 6 months, that I didn't have a lot that I loved from it, but I thought the performances were exceptional. So I was like, yeah, yeah, we'll find a way to like navigate this conversation. But yeah, it's the classic thing. It's always so easy when the film is so good, but it's really hard to make a
Yeah.
amazing film. So yeah, and those I will say too, most of the time, 90% of the time, it's down the middle of the road. There's pros and there's cons, and you navigate it as best you can. But like 2 or 3 times a year, you get that opportunity where you're like, oh, this is a big deal. This film is going to go down in history. I felt that way with Sinners last year. It is wild to me to have had it was only red carpet interviews that we did besides like one-on-one with three supporting cast members, but like getting to ask Michael B. Jordan a question for Sinners and having that footage, like that is a huge moment for me, especially because of what that film became. And like God willing, I'm really hoping that's the case with like the Odyssey this year or
Mhm.
Dune in December, or even Doomsday. Like, yeah, Marvel's in a weird spot right now, but like the Avengers freaking raised me. Like that's if
Yeah.
that film is half as good as Infinity War and gives me that childlike euphoria, damn right I want to be like attached to it in some way. So yeah, when those special ones come around, I always know in my gut, and then it leads to something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
That's freaking awesome. So, like, for us, the preparation for this interview was like, I had to bring back out my BDJ 464 skills. I'm like, all right, I got to figure out the right questions to ask because I want to get I want to get the good answers. What kind of preparation goes into interviewing somebody like a Chris Evans? Like how much time and effort do you have to put? Because obviously you don't work a normal 9 to 5. Like you're all over the place. I see you no matter what, I feel like you're working 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always on, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like I check my email like every day and my Slack every day. I still technically have weekends off, but like you know how it goes. Like the shout out Screen Rant and shout out our parent company Valnet because they take really good care of me and like they understand that like if I'm on a work trip for a Saturday and a Sunday and I'm working that whole weekend, or like tomorrow I host something for Tribeca, like those are hours that I'm never going to be like, oh, well, I work 3 hours on a Saturday. So now I get to come in late on the Monday. But there was like yesterday, for example, I was close to burnout. It had been a long series of days. And I was like, I can't come into the office today. I just worked the whole weekend. Overtime Monday, Tuesday, like unofficial overtime. Like, yeah, dude, like get your rest. Like we need you at your best. And, as long as I am checking the boxes and not like asleep at the wheel, it's always fine. So big shout out to my employer for like that amount of like trust and all that. But in terms of the prep, um, I never like try to assign a certain amount of like hours to anything. But with materialists, that one I remember very vividly because of how much I wanted it to go well. And the way I look at it is like we go into for these films, they give us a press screening before. And sometimes it's a footage link and I'll watch like a watermarked link on my laptop. But most of the time it's a screening in person. And there's a bunch of like random theater locations in the city. Some are official AMCs. Some are just screening rooms that exist in like a hotel or an office building. It's just like a home theater kind of style. So materialists, I know on this day at this time, I'm sitting down for 2 hours. My phone is off. I have no obligations other than watching this film, no distractions. So I go in with my notebook and like I remember I took 2 pages of notes and just chicken scratch and nothing like in depth, nothing like hyper analytical, but just remembering shot selections and score inflections and dialogue choices and stuff like that. Cause we all got TikTok brain. Like I don't remember what I had for breakfast 8 hours ago. I'm not gonna remember every like little nuance of this film. And so from there, I take those chicken scratch notes and then I like go in, I highlight what I think are the best little talking points. And then from there, I will take those highlighted bits, I'll transform them into questions, handwrite everything. I never type ever. There's such an emotional connection that comes with like taking specifically blue ink too. I read a long time ago, we remember things better in blue ink. I think that's because things are typically printed in black and white, so blue makes it pop a little bit more. And so I would always handwrite my questions on my cue cards. I keep all of my cue cards of a stack this big at my desk right now, but meaning to like frame the best ones or something like that would be cool. But yeah, from there I put all the questions on the cue card. I always do in abundance. So if I have a 6 minute interview, I'll probably prep like 10 questions, expecting to get to five. But if they're quick, we get to 10. And then from the cue card, it's all in blue ink, and then I'll go out and I'll highlight keywords and I'll underline stuff in red. And then sometimes I'll number the questions in a certain order based on the roadmap I want to go. But most of the time, it's a vibe thing. Like you can't really constrict yourself to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when they might say something at the end of question one that perfectly segues to question four. So you kind of just like feel out the vibe. And again, this process is not something I came up with overnight. This is something that's been the result of trial and error over the course of, doing these kind of interviews specifically for like 5, 6 years now. And I'm always adding new things to it. That red ink underline, that's something I added like a week ago. That's not something I've always had. So yeah, I've found that works best for me. And just being as like dialed in as possible when it comes to prep time. Like typically I'll end with this is I get to the location of the interview. If my check-in time is 1 o'clock, I'll get there for noon. I will go to the hotel's like cafe in the lobby and I'll put my headphones in and I will just use that hour of like lock in, write it down, highlight, underline, all that good stuff. And like that hour is like, this is my time. There's a shot clock here, right? Like at the end of this hour, I gotta go. While if I give myself the whole day, it's like, okay, twiddle my thumbs for a little bit, check Instagram, like
The
so many
procrastination kicks in.
distractions. Exactly. When you put yourself on a deadline, like a forced deadline, that's when the gold comes.
Yeah. So you just mentioned your handwritten notes, and I think this all ties back into creating your relationships with these actors and actresses and just showing how much you care. Because at the end of the day, that's if you do a good job, you have to care about what you do. And I really love that attribute, really about anybody, because if you care and it really, I guess, rubs off on people in the right way. So I've seen some clips. You've had actors, Jeremy Allen White, Michael B. Jordan, Adam Sandler, all compliment you on a couple of different things. I've seen your videos. These are my 2 pages of notes, or they compliment you on the kinds of questions that you ask. Being so young in the industry that you're in, how does that make you feel when that stature of a human being that everybody knows gives you that compliment?
Yeah, it's a special feeling. I don't put too much stock into it because sometimes people are being nice just to be nice. But like the reality is it's a big cosign. And I remember again, a lot of name drops on this podcast. So
The name
excuse me
drops are great.
for name dropping, but it was Austin Butler for our interview for Caught Stealing. I forget exactly how he worded it, but he just said like, thank you for saying that, or like, nice question. He said this was what it was. At the end of the interview, like anyone in my shoes, reporter, host, journalist, hearing good question is like means the world. But
Yep.
Austin said something that I never heard before, which was, I wish we had more time. Because typically these interviews are like 4 minutes long. 4 minutes with two giant actors. It was Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. I'm like, at best, we're going to get one group question and one solo question each. And that's if they keep it succinct. And so him saying, I wish we had more time was like, oh, you appreciated the quality of conversation we had in that limited amount of time that, could have gone on. And that was on camera. And I remember my boss like sent me the interview back after it was published. And he like gave me kudos. And he was like, and Austin said like, good question. He wanted more time with you. And I was like, thank you for saying that. A couple days later, for that film, they had this pop-up concert event with this band called the Idols, and the Idols did the music, like original songs for Caught Stealing. And Austin Butler was there, and he was there like without his team. He was very like incognito, but like I recognized him. Like I went up to him, I was like, "Oh, hey, Austin, like thanks again for your time." At the junket the other day, he was like, "Oh yeah," he was like, "You have a good time? The interview turned out well." I was like, "Yeah, no, we were all very happy with it." And I said to him, I was like, "Just so you know, like when you said good question, like that like has a positive impact on my career, like way more than you could ever." I was like, "My boss sent me the interview back, and he like like singled out your wording." And he was like, "I had no idea." He's like, "I was just, it was a good question. I wanted to be nice." I was like, "Well, you're Austin Butler. Your word, you saying good question, those two words alone transform what the perception of someone is." And so like those little moments, as much as I don't want to like ever live and die on those hills, I never want to be that guy who's like, "Oh, like so and so said this about me and this about me." It's like, no, I just want to be like, I want my value to be just from me as a human being alone. I don't want to rely on other people co-signing me. But at the same time, the what's it called? Our personal reputations are largely influenced by the people we talk to. And so yeah, there's a whole section of my like 2025 highlight reel that is just like a bunch of actors saying good question. And yeah, it's a little self-indulgent, but I do that because it's like it puts a stamp of legitimacy on who I am and who I'm
100%.
trying to be.
No doubt.
Yeah, I highly recommend for all of our viewers, go watch the 2025 highlight reel. It's really cool. I really enjoyed that video.
You watched the whole thing? That's crazy.
I watched it. I just the amount. I couldn't even imagine like being in that scenario. But just it goes to show, because I imagine a lot of the game is trying to be different, because like you said, they're doing so many 3-minute interviews, 4-minute interviews, and you have to be the guy to come up with something that makes him go, "Oh wow, I've never thought about that before," or "Oh wow, I've never actually been asked that," which I did see a couple people actually say that in the interview, like, "Oh wow, I've never been asked that before." And I feel like they've talked to so many people throughout their careers. It's just like, all right, cool, I hit this one on the nose, because they've probably talked. I mean, how many interviews do you think these people have done? It's, probably hundreds of interviews, and to hit that one note, it's just, it takes a certain type of skill.
Yeah, in any given press tour, I would say most actors do like at least 50, and that's not including like the short red carpet back and forth and back and forth and all that. And so yeah, on the opposite side, as great as it is to hear a good question, there's nothing more soul crushing than like, "Oh well, I've answered this a million times," but and I'm like, here we go, great.
Damn.
So, and that does happen too. That happens plenty of times. It's I would love to have the all-seeing eye, which kind of exists with AI, but I refuse to use it. So
the good news is, there's another interview coming.
exactly. Hey, way to bring it back.
You're always going to get another shot. I want to ask you this question. Do you still use Splenda in your coffee?
Great deep cut. Oh my God. Yes, I do every morning.
You're a Bostonian, so I know you like your cold brew. And it's like, I remember that we had a couple moments at food.com, and you would always be like, "Dude, where's the sugar?" And all of a sudden, here you are, Mr. Splenda. And I just learned to drink coffee black because I hate Splenda. So I was just wondering if you still use Splenda.
This is, man, I feel like I'm on the hot ones. They're Nardwuar right now. Like, God damn, what a pull. Yeah, food. I was never a Splenda guy before, but food.com, for those who don't know, food.com is like our broadcast school's cafe, Syracuse Newhouse specifically. And I love food.com, man. So many great memories there. I want one of those booths, and they need to I want a plaque on it or something. That's where I used to do so much like random work and all that. So many fun memories. But yeah, I know for a fact we had a couple coffees there, and like they had the iced coffee, but they had the crappy ice. They were like, it was the soda machine ice. It was these little cylinders that melt immediately.
Coffee.
And I would go up to the smoothie bar and I'm like, "Can you put the smoothie good ice in this cup?" And then they would always be like, "Sure, man, if you're going to pay for the coffee, whatever." And then, yeah, I would put a little Splenda in it. It stuck for whatever reason. I now also drink my coffee black. I no longer use like creamer. But
how many cups a day?
Oh, I'd say right now, like two max, like one at 9, one at 1. like something around
The
there.
mid-afternoon cup hits different.
Oh my God. It's
Because you're
on
like
me.
full from lunch and you're like, man, I'm dragging right now. And that little one, that's when I love to get my coffee. It's about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Really just gives me a nice boost for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah. What's your go-to? What's your order?
I'm an iced latte guy through and through.
Okay.
I put them
Hell
on the
yeah.
half sweet wave though.
Yeah, the half sweet.
I'm like,
Listen,
dude, you got to go half
as
sweet.
we get older, gotta watch the physique a little bit more. Gotta watch the sugar intake. Let's be
You're look
responsible adults.
you're looking
Uh,
good. I'm seeing the vascularity in the arms right now.
I
I know
appreciate
you've been
it.
putting in work.
I've been
Hey,
trying.
are you still rock climbing?
No, again, great deep cut.
Oh
It's
boy.
I lived in Brooklyn last year, and walking distance from my apartment was a rock climbing gym, and they also had a weight room. But I was like, I signed up for the weight room, but I was like, if I'm paying for everything, I might as well like start rock climbing. And I loved it. Like I fell in love with it, but I don't live in Brooklyn anymore, so it's too much of a hike to get to have a membership. But that's a good reminder to like I need to go back for a day pass because I miss it. Like that was it was so much fun. I would go every day, like literally every day. And it was such a luxury to have a facility like that at my daily
Yeah.
disposal.
Did you move to the city right after you guys graduated?
No, so I did 2.5 years living at home, trying to pay off some student loans, and like
I hear
I,
you.
I made a
Still paying.
decent chunk. I'm nowhere close to being done. Jesus.
Yeah,
I hear about that
me
problem a
too.
lot.
Yeah,
Syracuse ain't shit,
but
man.
I will say, like, and this is like kind of my existential advice to anyone who finds himself in this position. Like, I could have been debt free at 27, which would have been a year from next month. Like, if I'd never moved to New York, I'd be a year away from being completely debt free.
Yeah.
But at the cost of what? At the cost of, the prime of my 20s, the
Yeah.
prime of my happiness. Anything you know me from has come as a result from moving to New York. Like I did some Zoom interviews from home when I was living in Braintree, Massachusetts, but like I I think back to that era of my life and I'm like, man, I was happy then, but now that I know what real authentic daily happiness is, I'm like, I never want to go back to there. So yeah, I might be like with the ball and chain from FAFSA for the next like, I don't know, 10 more years. So be it. Like
You only get to
it's
live your life once, though. I mean, whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
you gotta do what you
So
gotta
yeah,
do.
debt is debt. We're always going to have debt. Once you pay off the student loans, then there's going to come a mortgage. So then there's going to come a car payment.
Yeah.
Like it's a nature of life. If you always kind of look at it as a restriction and allow it to prevent you from living your life, at what point are you even a human being anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
I can imagine living in New York City in your mid-20s has just got to be a different type of feeling too. And
It's
there's
a
just
movie,
so much.
man.
I mean, it just never sleeps. The city. I mean, I like going there for weekends, and I mean, you can't run out of stuff to do. So,
No, it's a blessing I'm only coming up on the end of year two, and I feel like I've only scratched like 10% of the surface of
oh
Manhattan.
yeah.
There's so many more neighborhoods to explore, so many more cafes and restaurants and people to meet, places to see. Like it's truly like I plan on living here for the rest of my life. Like they gotta drag what does Belfort say in Wolf of Wall Street? They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here. Like literally, that's how I feel.
My favorite
Oh
movie of all time, by the way.
yeah.
I could have guessed that.
Yeah. I guess I give that. I give that energy. That's all right. Listen.
All right, I gotta ask you one more question, hard-hitting question. What's
Okay.
up with the tacos?
Oh my God, this dude did his research. I love this. Um, it's a funny story. You want to know the whole story?
Yeah. You got
Okay,
time? Go ahead.
so election night 2024, very infamous day in American history. I was freshly unemployed. I got laid off from my previous publication, and I had been conversing with Screen Rant, but nothing had been official just yet. Fingers were crossed, but I also was like living my life financially, like I might not have an income and I might have to just live off of savings for who knows how long. And so Ryan Baker, our mutual friend, was like, do you want to come to this Taco Tuesday? And I was like, sure, but it's in my best interest to not really be eating out right now, like just groceries and meal prepping, just because I'm in a bit of a financial hardship. So, I might just come just for, one drink or like an appetizer. He's like, dude, this place, the taco's like $2. I was like, say what? So we go to the Five Lamps. Results are coming in on the election. That's its own story. And I was just like, why? We need a regular spot. I'm fresh to New York. I'd only been living in New York for like 4 months. 4 months? No, even less. I think 2 months. I was like, I love the vibe here. Outdoor seating, $2 tacos, crazy affordable. Like, we should come. Let's come back next week. And the issue was I was living in Brooklyn. So this place is on the Upper East Side. So for those of you who know New York, like that's like a 40-minute train commute.
Oh yeah.
So, I went to a couple of different Taco Tuesdays while I was still living in New York. But then when I moved to Manhattan, like this is my spot. Like I claimed it. I became a regular. All the staff knows me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna track how many tacos I eat. And so like I would just put on my Instagram story like this many this week, this many this week. And then it just became a very like cool community builder because I would bring friends from like all different walks of life to it. I would bring my friends who were like visiting from LA or visiting from home, different friend groups, all that kind of stuff. And I always just like take a picture of them with the tacos and all that. And yeah, it's just kind of become like my New York tradition. Like I always wanted my like McLaren's, like from How I Met Your Mother, that like go-to place that no matter what is going on in anyone's life, like for these like 90 minutes, we can just leave all our problems at the door, have some good tacos and have a good time. And yeah, anyone who comes along with me to Taco Tuesday, both of you better join eventually next time you're in the city. And this would be nuts. I mean, talk about a historic Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday fell on Cinco de Mayo this year. So that's what I put down 17. That's what I
I was about to say 7.
Wait, are these mini tacos or are these like full blown tacos?
I would say like a happy medium. I wouldn't say they're like massive, but
they're not like the little street ones though, because you got some of the Tex-Mex places and they're the tiny street tacos.
I think my average is like 10 a sitting, but like I'm a big guy, so like I got metabolism to keep up with.
Well, yeah, you look like you're in pretty good shape too. So
yeah, you also are running. You're doing athletic stuff.
I got to ask real quick because I know you don't have all the time in the world. How is it running in New York City? Because I walk the streets of Manhattan, where you live, right off 6th. I mean, the space on the sidewalk is ridiculously crowded at almost all times. So, how do you handle that?
I have a take about this. I have no shame in saying it. Like I am a performative male. Like, yeah, of course. Like I take pride in my Instagram and I dress nice. Like there's an aspect to it that is performative. However, what I can't stand, if you are running in the regular streets, like the cross streets and all that, especially during working hours, that is purely performative. That is like you are going out of your way to like weave through other people to let them know like, hey, I'm running here. I'm on my workout right now. You could easily just go up to Central Park or go to the West Side Highway or any of the other, million running crevices that exist in Manhattan to have a stress-free run where you don't have to like, I don't know about you guys, but like when I run, when I come to a stop, my legs immediately start cramping up. So I'm like, I can't run in an area where there's going to be like the crosswalk is closed and I have to stop for a second to let cars go by because like my body will get fucked. So I'm like, I always go to the West Side Highway or Central Park. And those two places I love. Like there is nothing better than going for a run in like a historic area. Like Central Park, like I see the skyline, West Side Highway. Sometimes you'll see like the Statue of Liberty depending on how far south you go. And it just like, again, it echoes this idea that like New York is like a movie and it's super special. So while as much as I have disdain for runners who go through the cross streets, those who go to the West Side Highway and Central Park, they're doing it right.
That's a good spot. It's a spot to be.
Well, it took me 4 years, but I finally got to return the interview favor because you interviewed me in your senior year when I was the club golf president on Juice and Java.
Yeah. Oh my God. We did the pre-tape together. That was a blast. Oh my!
We golfed all day together.
I remember I wore a polo that was way too tight.
Oh, dude, that thing was so tight. I'm gonna pull the clip. I'm gonna put the clip right here.
We moved over to the driving range here, and we're joined by golf team president Anthony Tartaglione. Anthony, thank you for being here.
Of course, happy to be here.
And so, Anthony, I want you to first start by telling us how you got into golfing. What was your journey like in this getting into the sport?
So believe it or not, when I was in high school, I wanted to play sports, and I got cut from the baseball team. So I picked up golf because it was really something that I found passion in, and I've been going for really about 7 years now.
And that passion obviously translated to college. You are now the president of the golf team here. How'd you get involved with the sport at Syracuse University?
So when I came up here to the frozen tundra, I decided that I wanted to find a way to play golf. And believe it or not, we didn't really have much of a club team. I played in a few tournaments when I was a sophomore, but when the pandemic hit, the team was pretty much gone. And this year I actually took the time to revitalize and create the team. We've actually been able to fundraise all of our tournaments, and we're actually going to the national championship in about 2 weeks.
So we've left the driving range and now moved over to the putting green. Ryan, this might be more of our speed.
Absolutely. I think this is where we're going to be able to shine. I was feeling pretty good, but the rain shower's starting, and I need to get out of there.
Here's the thing now, putting makes or breaks a golf game, and I'm excited to see what you guys can do. Maybe shave some strokes off the game.
Could be fun.
Let's do it. That wraps up our day here at Drumlins. Liam and I certainly had a blast. Anthony, thank you so much for taking us out here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. I just wanted to spread the love of the game of golf.
And hopefully this nice weather persists so we can all get back out on the course eventually. Juice and Java, we'll be right back.
Hey, if it's on the internet, someone's gonna find it eventually. So
You could do a little throwback Thursday for your performative mill Instagram of the tight polo. You could get that put up there.
Some people still think I wear
You could.
clothes that are too tight for me. I'm trying to get into the baggy phase. I started wearing baggy jeans recently. Oh my God. I wasted the prime of my life on slim fit pants. Why did
I
I,
feel
do
like
that?
baggy's back, right?
Baggy is so back, dude.
It's all the way
It is
back.
so back.
I've noticed that. I was in the city a couple weeks ago, and I noticed, I was like, this is really, it's trending. Like it's almost all the way back.
It's comfortable. You can wear baggy pants in the summer and not worry about your clothes sticking to your legs from sweat.
100%.
I mean, you dress good anyways. It doesn't matter. I see the fits. The fits are fine.
I do try very much. So I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, brother. Well, we really thank you for your time today. It was great to talk to you. Great to see you. Hopefully we're eating tacos in New York City on Tuesday together.
Yeah, likewise, guys. I appreciate you guys thinking of me. And as much as my Boston friends will hate to hear this, let's go next in 5.
Oh yeah, we'll clip that for all the Boston fans. No, man, it was. Thank you so much for your time today, man. Awesome interview, awesome talking to you, and everybody. Check out Liam. He's got some awesome content on his page.
Appreciate y'all.
I gotta say, man, it's great talking to him. Great catching up with him. There's nothing like seeing somebody who you were friends with, down in the dorms, partying, studying with, getting coffee with, getting to hang out with, making it big time. And, it's just great to catch up with him. And I hope you guys enjoyed his insight too.
Yeah, some really incredible insight into that spectrum of the world and some awesome stories as well. So really cool. Thanks again to Liam for coming on. We really appreciate your time and being the first guest on the pod. So it's awesome.
It's great. Now we got to do more.
Yeah,
We got to do more
absolutely.
now. I think we got to keep running it back.
Working on the interview game as well. So it's always good.
You were fine.
Good practice for me, but that's okay. It's okay.
Look, I'm in a lot of debt just based on the sole fact of interviewing people, and I still didn't do the best. So you learn in due time. It's just how it goes. We're rusty.
We're Rusty McGee, and that's what it is. So, let's get back into our stink bomb of the week. I think we kind of share one, but I'll let you dive into the story first.
Yeah, so it's summer, it's concert season. We ripped up a music festival a couple weeks back, and then we decided to go to Morgan Wallen.
This fucking fly, dude. Sorry.
We got. This is our second ever guest on the podcast.
Yeah, right.
It's the fucking fly that's flying around. But I'll say this: it's summer concert season, and we decided to go to Morgan Wallen, which is probably the most popular country
In Clemson.
which is probably one of the most popular country artists, if not one of the most
It
popular
was Morgan
artists.
Wallen and Ella Langley.
And Ella Langley. So there you go, big headliners. And Mother Nature decided, it's gonna piss today. It's gonna rain. So we're like, all right, this sucks. So what happened was they tried to put 80,000 people into the stadium all at the same time. And it was
Disaster.
It was a disaster. It was a madhouse. They didn't know what to do. The gate lines were outrageous. Ella's set got cut short by like 6 songs.
They canceled the first 2 openers.
Canceled the first 2 openers. The concert itself was great. I had a great time. It was phenomenal. but it was a madhouse. Like, getting in there was very stressful.
Absolutely.
The worst part about it was getting the fuck out.
Oh my God. Disaster class.
So I got to bring up one thing. I got beef with Uber. And Uber, if you ever sponsor us, maybe we'll have to have a
divine intervention.
A divine intervention. But I got to shit on you real quick. We pre-scheduled Ubers there and back. So we scheduled them both.
And prepaid. We had the hold on the card.
Hold on the card. The Uber there, mind you, we're 15 minutes from the venue.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. But you know, there's constant traffic and shit. No shows. Uber was a no-show.
Yeah, they completely just canceled on us.
Just canceled on us. So we didn't have a ride. So we had to go to Lyft. So thank you, Lyft, for being there for us at that moment. We finally get rides to the concert. And again, once I said when we got there at Madhouse, concert ends. We planned it to where we set our Uber pickup location an hour after the concert was supposed to end. And it ended 50 minutes before our pickup time. And 1.5 miles away. Which, by the way, fuck you. That was a bad shout.
Why is that a bad shout?
1.5 miles walk after
you got to eat your double bacon burger, your chili corn dog, chili hot dog with cheese, onion, and slaw, and a chicken quesadilla. Yeah, I just shouted you out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You got what you wanted. Were you not talking about the double burger tray from Cookout the whole night? Yes or no question?
I was hungry.
Yes or no question?
I was hungry, drunk and hungry. What do you expect?
Yes or no question?
Yes.
Okay. So don't be pissed at me because we walked an extra half mile to get some food.
I'm just saying, drunk 1.5 miles is hard. It's hard.
I completely disagree. I think a drunk 1.5 miles in the dark is way better than 1.5 miles in the dead middle of the day sober. Just personal opinions.
I don't think so.
Listen, we can put up a poll.
What? A drunk mile? Our own editor doesn't even drink. Like, so not everybody drinks.
In general, you can put up a poll, and I guarantee you that the drunk 1.5 miles would rather be walked by the people than a sober 1.5 miles in the dead middle of the sun. I'm just putting it out there.
What's the temperature? Like right now, like that heat?
Call it the same day. It was hot as shit.
All right, fair enough. But to our point, so we get to the Cookout, we walk 1.5 miles.
Oh, well, we can't also let that ride. That tray, that order is so dirty. We can't let that fly. Because what is your over-under on calories on that sitting?
I actually did the math. It was like 1,100 calories.
1,100 is soft.
No, it was 1,100.
That's a soft landing.
According to the Cookout menu, it was 1,100 calories.
The burger alone
360 calories.
That's bullshit.
That's what
Then it's not real meat.
Go to the Cookout menu. Go to Cookout's
so
website.
You think caloric intake is accurate on Cookout's menu?
I had water.
You had a water.
No soda for me. I know people who get Cookout trays, an extra side, and a milkshake.
I don't want to shit on you. And to
back this up, you were the one that said, I think I might get a milkshake.
But I didn't.
Yeah, but you had that thought.
I'm not up here
You're up there
myself.
shitting on me.
No, I just
You're calling me out.
I need to bring up your order of a double burger tray with the hot dog with the chili, cheese, and onions from Cookout. That's where it goes wrong. I think the burger and the quesadilla is acceptable, but when you get into the hot dog with the chili and the cheese,
it's called Cookout style. And it doesn't have cheese on it. It's onion, it's slaw,
and chili.
And chili. It's called Cookout style. You want me to just get a dog with ketchup? We just talked to Liam about 17 tacos. I didn't hear you shitting on him.
It's not my time or my place.
No, it's because you're fake.
You're
fake. That's fake. You're shitting on me
You're complaining about a walk when you needed to walk.
First off, you called me out first about the fucking tray. The first thing you did, I didn't even mention
That's because you shit on me for putting the Uber at Cookout when all you did was crave Cookout the whole evening.
But then you had to call me out on my tray. And then, not to mention, 30 minutes ago, you could rewind. The people have heard it. He talks about eating 17 tacos, and you don't go, holy shit, that's dirty. That's a lot of calories.
The difference is we're fresh acquaintances, and you're my brother. That's the difference.
Well,
I'm not shitting on the
all it does is prove the point. All it does is prove the point that you're fucking just giving me shit to give me shit.
I'm not.
And your argument has no.
I don't think I'm shitting on the amount of food. I think I think the hot dog cookout style is just a little bit dirty. It's a little bit too dirty.
Sometimes I get my tray where I don't get the big double burger and I get 2 hot dogs. And I do 2 cookout style dogs.
All right, listen.
And they're done that.
That's fine. Listen, we live in America.
I got a water.
You can do what you want.
I didn't get
you
a
got a
milkshake.
water. You got a water.
Walked a mile and a half.
Yeah, we did.
Burned a couple cows.
Couple.
I was drunk. I didn't eat
All
anything.
I'm saying is that you at first started this with the complaining about where we were walking to. So
Well,
you got the ball rolling.
It is hindsight. It is hindsight because I'm going to get to my point. Because at first I was like, whatever.
Okay, continue.
Because in the moment I was like, I don't care. Whatever. We're going to make this fucking walk. It's 40 minutes. But we get there. We walk a mile and a half from the venue. We get our food. I'm like, all right, we're going to have to take our food to go. Our Uber's coming. It's scheduled at 12:50. We order the food up. We're waiting for the food. We get the food. I'm like, all right. Boom. Again. Uber canceled. Uber canceled. Then the mad rush begins. We were like one of 3 people in Cookout when we first got there.
We were, what do they call that? And like we were the innovators, right?
Yeah.
The early adopters.
Yeah.
We were early adopters.
Next thing you know, the line's out the door at the Cookout. And it's packed. Every table's packed, and we can't get a fucking ride. We sat at that Cookout for
a good hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Requesting. And not to mention, there's a group of 8 of us, 8 of us.
7 of us.
7 of us. Everybody was trying to get a ride. Lyft, Uber, doubled up, requested, everybody trying to get a ride. Because we just needed ride home. Because we couldn't fit in an XL because there were 7 of us. So we needed to get 2 rides. Mind you, our parents had drove home. We should have just rode with them. We should have just packed it in. But
there was a multitude of things we could have done differently, but you're right. Hindsight.
And then we had a buddy who was riding home from the concert. He was stuck in the traffic. Couldn't move for 2 hours.
Which, by the way, was coming from the stadium where you're complaining that I didn't get the Uber from.
I'm just saying.
Did we or did we not get back before him?
I'm just saying it sucked. We got back 15 minutes before him.
Okay.
And that was because he decided to go to Cookout, too. But I will say this. Clemson, fuck you. Terrible traffic management. I get it. You didn't have an exit plan. But you call yourselves a great football school. You should be used to that many people leaving the stadium at one time.
My problem is that even when we were getting there was no Uber or rideshare drop-off point. Like our original Lyft and your Lyft dropped us off across the stadium from each other, and I had your tickets, which was also a problem. Like if you're hosting a concert that big, there should be an in and an out for all rideshare drivers, no matter what. Especially if you're hosting an artist like Morgan Wallen. Or how about the football games? I don't even want to know what it looks like. I can understand game day is probably a little bit different there because they have shuttles maybe. Still a disaster. That needs to be cleaned up. That's all
it's totally got to be cleaned up. And it was bad.
But great concert.
Had a great time. Great concert.
Had a great time.
But,
minus the rain and the traffic.
But then I went to bed that night, dude. We stayed in an Airbnb, right? 3 beds in the basement, right? 3 beds. I got stuck down there because, I'm the single one. I don't have a partner to be staying with. And my cousin, who also doesn't have a partner, so we get stuck to the basement. Well, my buddy decides to bring his girlfriend last minute. Asshole. He was supposed to be staying down in the basement. He was supposed to be staying down in the basement with us originally. So I kicked him to the couch night 1. I said, see you later. In this basement was a twin, a really stiff queen bed, and a really comfortable queen bed.
Yeah, it looked like a showroom at a.
Yeah.
Looked like a showroom.
It was an Ashley Home
furniture.
It was an Ashley Home
furniture store. Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? This is on my Airbnb account. I'm getting the comfy bed. I found the place. I mean, you put it on your card, so you got first.
Yeah, all credit to you, right?
I'm just saying.
I got the master, so I don't give a shit.
I'm saying you got the master, so that was fair. I had no beef with that. If I'm gonna get stuck in the worst room, at least give me the best bed. Like that's at least part of the work I got to do for finding the place. No, I get stuck in the stiff bed, queen night. I stuck my buddy out on the couch. I said, see ya. They slept like shit. So then the next night comes in, and my cousin and I had agreed that she was going to sleep in the stiff bed, and I was going to sleep on the comfortable bed.
The Airbnb went on your card.
Oh, did it?
The tickets went on my card.
Oh, that's right.
The B&B went on. You really got stiffed.
Yeah. So then my buddy gets home, and him and his girlfriend are like all buzzed up, and they're like, can we please just sleep in the bed? So guess what? My cousin, I go to shower. My cousin, devious as she is, crawls into the queen bed, the comfy one, and falls asleep. Wow. She doesn't actually fall asleep. She fake falls asleep until I get ready for bed. And then all of a sudden, she's up posting an Instagram story. Once I finally get stuck on the stiffest ass twin bed in a room with 4 people. And everybody's fucking drunk yapping till 4 a.m. And I finally at like 4:30 fall asleep, right? 5:30 in the morning. I wake up, that chili cheese dog was coming back up my
You said there was no
cheese. The cookout style dog was coming back up my throat. Heartburn from fucking hell. I'm stuck in a twin bed with 4 people in a room on the most uncomfortable thing in an Airbnb that I booked, and I got heartburn from living hell. Not to mention, at this point, it's been 7 hours since I've had an alcohol beverage.
Not to be funny, but you made your own bed.
I couldn't even just drunkenly sleep through it. Sometimes you can just sleep drunkenly in the most uncomfortable positions. I was sober at that point. So I got heartburn from hell, stuck in a twin bed, and I slept like shit. Woke up the next morning, because they had to leave it, and they had to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning. So guess what they did at 7 o'clock in the morning? Lights on, packing, loud as shit.
I slept through all this.
Disaster.
Slept through all this.
And I was the one that fucking found the Airbnb. And I got screwed. Screwed.
You know what? To be fair, though, you're usually the drunk yapper till 5 in the morning. It's just usually how it goes.
This is true. I'm not.
And you chose to go the route of cookout style dog.
Yeah, but I should have gotten like one of the bedrooms. Like there was people on that. Like one girl on our trip, she got the bedroom. Why didn't I get the bedroom?
I don't know. I couldn't.
Her boyfriend wasn't there.
I couldn't tell you the answer to this.
That's B. I should have been like, yo, I'm taking this bedroom and there's nothing you fuckers can do.
You could take that up with whoever you want to take that
Nope,
up
I didn't even argue it.
Listen, you took it like a champ. You took it right in the teeth.
I took it in the teeth, but it is my stink bomb of the week.
There you go.
Hey, great concert.
I'm glad you took 14 minutes to get there.
The concert was fantastic. The people hanging out was great. But yeah, well, you also experienced it. You chimed in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was there the whole weekend. I was, in fact, present.
Yeah. Paul, way too much alcohol, by the way. Had a shit ton to bring back. At least we drove.
Good thing we drove.
I know.
Well, I drove. You slept.
Yeah, put the clip up. I'll clip myself. Look at this.
You've got to clip yourself.
This is a bad picture.
Yeah, cue the clip.
I'm in rough shape in this picture right here.
That's so
I'm in rough. I literally look like rigor mortis to set in.
You know what? I was getting sleepy driving, which was terrible. And then I looked back and I just started laughing and it woke me up. I was like, you were knocked out, which is fine. You know, you got to do what you got to do. So, all right. Well, moving on from the concert weekend, we're in the dog days of summer, and we're at the time of year. I feel like an asshole. This is I feel like such a dickhead for this. We're at the time of year where middle schoolers, elementary schoolers like to set up their lemonade stands on the side of the road. You know, make a buck or two. So I'm just, driving through the neighborhood, and I'm the only thing. It's like me and the lemonade stand. Nobody else around. I just kept on driving.
You whipped right past the kids?
Didn't stop. And I didn't realize.
Mention you do drive a bright red truck too.
Drive a bright red truck. But I felt like a dick. And in the moment, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta keep my day going. And I used the excuse in my head if I had no cash. That was my excuse. But I wasn't stopping anyways. It just wasn't happening.
So you felt like a piece of shit?
I felt like a piece of shit because the kids are out there, it's hot. They're busting their ass trying to make a buck or two. And I held no regard. And to that, I apologize. And I'm going to try and stop at the next stand I see. That's all. Has that happened to you yet?
No.
So what are you going to do if you get in that moment?
I'm going to get out and get some lemonade.
You're going to get out and get some lemonade?
It could be ass, but I'm still going to drink it and be like, it's good. Move on.
I felt what made it worse.
Young entrepreneurs and you're shutting them down?
They were out there waving the sign all excited like they hadn't seen a car in like 2 hours. And I just, yeah, it was really bad. And I feel so bad that I'm shaming myself. Like it's such a cringe moment for me. And I know those people don't even know. Like the people obviously aren't listening, but I apologize to them. And this is my form of apology. I'm shaming myself, and I'll stop at the next lemonade stand. I got to be a better person.
I know this is the podcast. We're supposed to like embarrass ourselves, but that's just something you just don't put out in public.
This is my form of public apology.
Good on you.
Yeah, I'm owning up to my mistake.
That's something I would never share.
I felt bad.
That's a big POS moment,
but it's
right there.
eating me up inside to the point where I had to share it, and that's like when you do something guilty and you hold it in, it makes you feel worse. When you get it off your chest, at least you take responsibility of it. You apologize. You're going to be a better man, and that's what I'm doing.
You're a piece of shit for that.
Yeah, but I'm apologizing.
That's a dirtbag move.
It is. It was a dirtbag move.
So you have redemption though, because you know damn well it's
going to happen again.
I mean, unless business is really bad. I mean, you're part of the reason business is probably.
I'm part of the reason business is not booming, but I'm going to be back in the same area.
Do you know what house it is?
Yeah, I know.
Write them a note and say sorry I couldn't get lemonade.
I don't know the house. They were on the corner.
Yeah, and you can't be out there meandering trying to find out whose house it is.
Negative, no. Can you imagine? I'm going to go door-to-door sales and be like, hey, were you out there at the lemonade stand when the bright red truck passed you? No, I'm not going to do that.
Just give them like a 20 next time. Make them feel good.
Yeah, I'm going to make do if I see the stand again, because I have to go back in that direction. I will make do. That's fitting for the end of the stand. So anyways, if you're in my shoes, just realize in the moment, if you're going to drive right past the lemonade stand, just don't do it because you feel like shit. And that's it. That's all.
Yeah, you're a scumbag for that.
I'm a scumbag. And that's it. It's bad. It's cringy more than anything. So, all right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of the Tag Team Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Liam for jumping on this episode of the pod with us and the logo leaving the scene. That's
unfucking believable.
But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed and stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, we'll have some good content coming from you guys. Peace.